Hey y'all, what's going on? It is the Culture Critiques panel. We're back to discuss the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's season 6, episode 7, Above Deck and Below the Bell. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Okay. And we are here.
Hey.
You were just saying this episode was a lot, y'all. So we might be up here for a long time because there's a lot to talk about.
It's gonna be a good time too, though.
It always is. I couldn't wait to get up here and talk about all things Salt Lake City with you because there's just so many perspectives. I feel like you could look at this episode through like those lenses, and you guys, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how everybody feels and who's siding and who you feel like was in the right or wrong. I know who I feel like was in the right or wrong. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we agree or disagree, but no matter what, we're gonna have a good time because we always do, y'all. But before we do all that, you already know what I'm about to say, which includes the fact that I need you guys to like the video on both of our channels. We are streaming from both of our channels. Go ahead, hit the like button, become a subscriber, become a cutie, become a Barb's babe. We both would love to have you. Also, drop down in the comment section and let us know what you guys thought of this episode. What you think of our commentary. Like I said, there's a lot of, I feel like, different angles you can look at this through, and I would just be very curious to see who you guys are rocking with and who you guys aren't right now, because we're 7 episodes in. I think we could really start to solidify who's on the BS list and who's on the, okay, I can get behind that list. And like I said, we'll get into all that though. And don't forget to share. Don't forget to hype the video. Do all the things. Turn on your notification bell. And who do we got in the chat? First up is Ken's. What's going on? Hello.
Hey, Ken's.
Kev is in the building. What's going on, Kevin? Also, we got Bernice in here. I know everybody's gonna have a lot to say, y'all. So without further ado, I guess we should just jump on into it. What say you, my good sister? What do you have to say?
I think it was a really revealing episode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that we already thought. I'm glad it got brought to the forefront. And I just can't wait to discuss every little nook and cranny. That's all I can say. And if I had to rate this episode, I am going to rate that at a 9.
I agree. I'm gonna give it a 9 too. I definitely agree. Again, I feel like this episode just speaks to like this new era that I feel like Salt Lake City specifically is ushering in. I don't feel like it disappointed at all. I think we went through like a roller coaster of emotions, and that's what I like to feel when I watch a show. I don't know about y'all, but I know I like to be drawn in, and I can really tell if I'm into it because then I'm like not even really looking at my phone, even though I was able to like live tweet a little bit, but I'm like completely glued to the screen through and through. And then I don't mind rewatching it again. Cause there's some of those episodes where you're like, I really don't feel like rewatching this and doing the notes and doing all this stuff. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind putting in the work for this episode. Lexi Lene says, Heather, eyes. I'm not about to give my feelings. I'm gonna just be tight-lipped on that one for now.
When I tell you, I cannot wait to hear what Barb has to say, because we agree on a lot of things, and then there's things that I don't see because I might like this person. And so when she points it out, and just with this comment, Heather, I can't wait to hear all the good things that are going to come out of your mouth today.
Let's see. We're gonna see. We'll see. Anyway, let's jump into it, y'all.
Oh,
So
wait. One last thing. I'm sorry before I'm not supposed to be speaking over you, but I do want to say a happy belated birthday to my daughter, Nani. She just turned 21 yesterday. So happy birthday, Nani Cakes. You are 21. This is for you, little girl roll.
yeah, I'll drink my protein shake to that. Happy birthday. I just 21. What a year. Love it, love it, love it. I hope I know y'all had an amazing day, so I shouldn't even say I hope. I wish I was a fly on the wall to do all the birthday things. Okay. So this episode, the description goes as follows: in a can't miss crossover event with Below Deck Down Under, the women take off for Heather's Caribbean adventure, but one housewife is noticeably missing. Once on deck, Brittany flirts with Captain Jason and the deck crew. Yes, there's a lot of flirting going on. We'll get into that, y'all. But I feel completely compelled to now get into Below Deck. I don't know about you, but and shout outs to the diva Erica De Niro TV, because she was saying that Below Deck is like the best series on Bravo. I personally haven't watched it. I don't know about you, but I'm intrigued after watching this episode. Plus, so we're gonna get we're gonna get the reversed side of things. We're gonna actually get the Below Deck episode about this episode, about everything that went on in this episode too. So I'm gonna have to watch that when that drops. And then that'll tell me whether or not I can stick with them.
That's hot. I like that. I like the reverse. And I've never watched. I have been intrigued to watch, but it's not like on the top of my list of things to watch.
We'll see. I really like your buns today too.
Oh, thank you. My son called me Princess Leia.
I love it. But yes, y'all, this episode opens up with, it's a really intense foreshadowing of what is to come later on down the line. We know that Salt Lake City is really good and notorious for a good eye-opening opener, so to speak. So again, I know I speak for both of us when I say we were both sucked in to know what transpired just based off of that intro alone. And then we go back in time to see all of the ladies arriving at the airport. And so I thought it was really funny because Mary, she's, Mary gotta have the looks. She's a fashion girl. So she had like 2, 3, 4, 5, however many suitcases. She was struggling to get them in. But she finally does. And we were happy to see that. Inside we have, again, everybody except for one person showing up. Who is that? You guys are probably wondering. So that particular person was actually Bronwyn, and we have Whitney's talking about, well, if she does show up, we're going to talk about it, and if she doesn't show up, we're still going to talk about it. So basically, she's screwed either way. And Whitney actually receives this super vague text from Bronwyn saying how she's not going to be able to make it. Or the first text really had the language of she wasn't going to make it at all. But then apparently, I guess she sent a second text saying that she'll meet them right to like get on a boat or whatever. So again, we know that these ladies are not going to miss a chance to talk about the mess if the mess does come down the hill about somebody else. So again, I already knew that. Well, one, I'm pretty sure everybody knew that she was going to show up regardless, because I mean, you're like contractually obligated to, but whatever. Lisa and Meredith, they were already at their gate. And this was going to be a 15-hour flight, and it had 2 stops. Way too much for me. But again, all the ladies, I don't know if they were in business class or first class. I don't know. We know that Lisa doesn't fly anything other than first class, so I'm going to assume it was first class. Otherwise, we would have heard her mouth, I'm sure. Nonetheless, 15 hours flashes past. They finally land in Kanawha. And they hop on the vans, of course, and we're starting off day one. They pop over to where the yacht is. Do I have a picture of it? I think I do. That yacht, we need to be on that yacht. I don't know why we haven't been on a yacht like that, but you could see it in the background. And we even hear in the vans Lisa asking the driver, is this what the billionaires hang out or whatever? And he was like, yes, this is the billionaire playground. Like, duh. But they all hop off the vans and they're greeted by the crew and everything. And we find out that Heather and Captain Jason, actually, they became acquainted on a previous trip that her and Whitney took down to Australia. And they spent about a week together. So obviously that's giving us some context as to like how this crossover happened, since they are obviously familiar with one another. And as the ladies are going down the line greeting all of the crew members, we have Lisa, of course, throwing shade at Angie because she was being super friendly and personable. And we have Lisa talking about she's going back through. Am I the only person that caught like some shade being thrown from Lisa's side? And I just found it funny because she also was saying how she was cool with Bronwyn at this point in time, and even like her and Angie. I'm like, so like you on one hand you're kind of appearing like you guys are cool, but then at the same time you're throwing shade. So it's like
she definitely
caught it.
She definitely does it in the confessional. So it's funny that she can't even hold it to the confessional, that she has to say it under her breath or out loud for everyone else to hear her. She's so miserable.
Yeah. And again, even in the confessional, she was talking about this will be good for Angie because usually she vacations in an RV. I mean, that was kind of shady, but at the same time, we have Angie admitting like, no, this is her first time really being on a yacht and stuff like that. And this is also when Angie throws shade back to Lisa, and she shades her ankles. What did she say? If she wants her ankles to look smaller, she'll just go stand next to Lisa. Yeah, that stung a little bit, I'm pretty sure, when Lisa watched this back. Nonetheless, in true Lisa fashion, she was name dropping her tequila, of course, because they were greeted with margaritas and shots and the whole nine. And of course, Lisa's not going to pass up on the chance to plug, Vita tequila, even though, I mean, have you tasted it yet still? I know I haven't still tasted it. So
all I'm going to say is Todd is older than me. And if he don't like it, I don't think I'm going to like it.
Yeah. Britani was grinning in every man's face on that ship by now. She wasn't passing up on the eye candy. Even in her confessional, again, she was grinning from ear to ear like a Cheshire cat the entire episode. But we'll get into her just a little bit later. But again, the yacht is really nice, y'all. They had loungers, they had places obviously for them to eat and whatnot. I think this is where we find out how the rooms are going to be divvied up. So we had Angie and Mary in one room. We had Whitney choosing the room with Heather. And then, of course, we have Meredith and Lisa. And then who does that leave? Bronwyn and Britani, y'all, the two bestest friends ever. Yeah, they were going to be in the room together. Britani was not so happy about that, but what can we do? And then I want to say this is about the time that Bronwyn actually makes her appearance. They see her coming in over on like a little boat, and she's having a mixed emotions type of day. She doesn't really know what she's going to be walking into. Again, we know that the ladies are not going to pass up on a chance to bring up what they saw that just broke in the headlines. So she knows she's going to be probably walking into a situation where she's going to be on the defense, I guess. But when she gets off the little boat and she gets on the larger boat, we see that she, of course, is going to have a over-the-top outfit on. And she, not only did she bring one buoy floaty thing, she also bought another one. So she doesn't even need any of the life jackets or anything they have on board. She came prepared. I'm not mad at that. How'd you feel about this outfit?
I'm gonna need her to get it in another color if she's gonna be in pictures and then wear it on a yacht with the girls already. Because I mean, not for nothing, I'm not saying you can't repeat your clothes, but like literally, we didn't need to see you in this outfit on the other yacht. And I don't know if it was the same day or those different yachts on, different places on the yacht that she was on. But I was just like, wow, even the handles is that to pull you up. So if you was floating and you were just like couldn't move your arms anymore, they could just grab your shoulders with the handles.
Yeah.
All she's missing, to be honest, the only thing she missing is the thing that kept rolling off of Big Mouth Lisa's tongue. She's just missing the rubber ducky in the front. It just needs the ducky in the front, and then it would be literally complete.
Yeah, I definitely echo the fact that she probably should have had it in a different color. But I think I have I thought it looked really cool on the model. But I wasn't really, I don't know if I liked Bronwyn's rendition. Y'all let us know in the comments who you preferred, who you think pulled it off better.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, it's not a bad outfit. Like, it's not a bad outfit. Even before you brought it up on this model, it's not a bad outfit. I'm just saying, I wish she would have had it in more than one color. Yeah. So that when they pulled it up, she would have been like, yeah, girl, I got it in not one, but two colors. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's the only gripe I have about it, because she's going to be on TV that she's taking pictures in this, but I get it. She's going on the yacht. This is her yacht fit. It's the yacht fit.
Yeah. What are y'all saying in the comments? I loved the breakdown of Lisa when she was telling John that was giving Carrie, they all gonna laugh at you. Oh, that's a really good example. Whitney is a hoe. A housewife hoe is still a hoe. Okay. Right. Okay. Lexi Lenny says the model looks way better. I'm gonna agree. I'm sorry. I loved it on her. She brings fun camp outfits that would never see the light of day, to be honest. And hello, one Mikey Dude one. No, I agree. I do like that she there's no holds barred when it comes to her fashion choices. But I also think that sometimes some things are for a person. Sometimes they're not, myself included. Like, sometimes I look back at my pictures and I was like, I could have did this different, or I could have just not worn that altogether. It just depends. That's why we love fashion so much, because it's a lot of versatility. Everybody just does their own, rendition of it.
True.
Bronwyn is my favorite because she survived an emotionally abusive mother who she treated like a stepchild. Justice for Bronwyn. Oh no, that's a side I'll always side with her on. Although I have my issues about pretty much everything else that she has going on in her life. That's one area that I know that I always side with her on, based off of how, Muzzy was brought onto our screens and all the things that she had to say.
True T. Yeah, she definitely deserves grace on that, because I can't imagine a mother or a grandmother being so mean to a daughter and not teaching them, or setting them up for success. It's so weird to me. I have two daughters. I just couldn't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Me and my imaginary daughter, I would never treat her like that, but I can only speak for myself. Going back to episode though, y'all, again, a lot is happening at this point. We got Bronwyn showing up. We got Britani revealing that she is, again, kind of into Captain Jason. She's into him if he's into her. So she's down to flirt. Heather also lets us know that her and Captain Jason, they was this at the point where she let it be? She says or no, this is when the producer asked her if it was her and Captain Jason on an island alone, what all was she bringing? She said a bikini and condoms. Hey, I at least she's being responsible, I guess. But it's obvious that Captain. I mean, I guess he's an attractive guy. I guess. Anyway, um, Meredith. Again, when Brittany was, I think she might have said Jared's name at this point, and Meredith is like, okay, well, cool. Like, if you want to go for Captain Jason, then that's fine. Everything. But you're not going to be saying Jared's name on this boat, and if you do, I think it was Whitney that said, then we're gonna pour water on you. I guess Brittany didn't believe them, so she says Jared, and next thing we know, Meredith is pouring water in her lap. I don't know if I have pictures. No, I don't think I have a picture of that. But I don't know about you, but I feel like, I mean, Brittany better than me, because I could understand if we were already in our swimsuits and stuff like that, but they weren't. So I know if I was Brittany, I would have been like, y'all got me messed up. But she takes it in strides.
I wonder if it gave Angie PTSD.
I didn't think about that.
And why she wouldn't have said something to her about, I would have checked the Meredith would have heard it. Meredith, I'd have went into Meredith like she was Lisa. I mean, like she was Jen pouring it on me. So that's one thing. The second thing, there's one thing to take a glass of water. She took a picture. It was a full pitcher of water for them to drink on. Okay. Which means it probably was cold. On top of the fact that it wasn't a sprinkle. Like I said, if you took the glass and you poured it on her, one thing, but pouring that full pitcher on her like that, I think it was a bit overboard. I think it was a bit overboard.
Yeah, I have to agree. But Lisa, one of the things she said in the confessional was that, she wasn't going to say karma, but she does make mention of how well Bronwyn had so much to say about what she had going on. But at the same time, unbeknownst to her, Bronwyn also had her own skeletons in her closet. So again, on one hand, we have Lisa saying that they're cool, everything is fine, or whatever, but she's also not going to pass up on the fact that, I find it mighty funny that you had so much to say about me, but you had your own, again, skeletons in your closet. By this point, go ahead.
I was going to say, everybody has skeletons in their closet. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand. Is it that you want to bring the skeleton out of the closet? Because I'm feeling like everybody has lived life and there's going to be skeletons in somebody's closet, whether you agree or disagree that they're skeletons, whether you agree or disagree that it's as bad as it is, or it's not as bad as you think it is. It doesn't matter. People are going to think that other people have skeletons in their closet if they live a long enough life. Not saying that you're a bad person or your skeletons are just this humongous thing. I'm just saying I'm sure there's things that people do, whether it's you accidentally stole some water from the store because it was underneath your cart and you rolled out and you get to your car and you about to put it away and you like, I ain't paying my water. I didn't mean to. Are you going back in there to go tell them you didn't pay for your water, or are you putting that water in your trunk? Is that a skeleton in your closet, or is that not? Because all I'm saying is we all got them. So all I'm saying is some people's are bigger than others, and some people are going to look at people's skeletons bigger than others, or say less than others. But we all got them. It's okay. We all living.
Yeah, I think no, you bring up a good point, because it's like at the same time, you have to take into account that a skeleton to me might not be a skeleton to you. So a lot of times I know for myself, I'm always like, the girls need to air out their own tea or spill their own tea before somebody else does. And I do stand by that, but at the same time, sometimes I can see where, it's a situation of, well, that wasn't a big deal to me, so I just didn't think, I need to bring it up or whatever, or something that you might shame me for is something that, I don't have any shame in. So I think we kind of have to think about that sometimes with certain situations. But
one of the things is you're not scrolling our socials across the bottom.
I'm not. I sure am not. Y'all follow us on our socials. They're scrolling on the bottom now. Thank you. Meredith was giving, I watched her chicks and now she about that life. If you don't sit your unseasoned raisins and potato salad, it's down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they would have did that to anybody else. And again, when we start to get physical and we start to cross over into that area, because we've been hard on other people, we gotta also be hard on Meredith and whoever else going forward. Like you would not have been cool with that. Like let's not cross that line. But whatever, we're not on the show, so I guess they don't do what they want to do. We have, I want to say at this point in time, Angie's starting to feel a little sick. Yeah, Angie got really sick on this trip, but she don't have her sea legs right now, so she's starting to feel a little bad. Bronwyn finds out she's rooming Britani, so she's not happy about that. Her name ain't Jared. But speaking of Jared, Jared made sure that Britani had a little something to remember him by. She has brought this stuffed unicorn. She bought this stuffed unicorn, y'all, and not only is it just obnoxious, but I guess when you squeeze it, it says, what does it say? I love you, or
you don't say I love you. Don't even try that.
It says you are loved, which means that, hey, I might not love you, but somebody out there does. I mean, we saw her family last season, so I guess they love her. We know how her kids feel about her, so good night, baby. You are loved. It sounded like he was reading from a script, like she made him say that and was like, can you just read this and to hear, like there was no emotion behind it. And like I said, it didn't say I love you.
That part, well, the whole thing is a whole thing.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Breaking up.
That's what I thought. Go ahead and talk, sis.
What was that? Yeah, I was like, of all things, and again, you gotta remember, y'all, they're only gonna be gone for 3 days. So, and I probably should have also said that for whatever reason, she finally, as of today, is on her 30-day fast. Because he showed up to her house before she left, and she just has no self-control. So she wasn't able to, she had to restart the clock. So it's starting from today when she's on a boat.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is problematic. She's not a 5-year-old. She did not need no unicorn. That's something you give to your kid for comfort when they're going away to their grandmother's house that don't live in the same state. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he didn't say I love you on there, that somebody loves you. You could have kept that unicorn and your sorry message to yourself. 1. 2, I love that everybody's against her about this Jared thing and her little 30-day fast against Jared is crazy, because we already know he's such a manipulator and she's so eager to take it. He manipulates her all the time. He literally strings her along. She's just like a little puppy and wants to go to him. And the fact that he was there while she packed, I'd have been like, well, Jared, honey, I'm gonna have to see you when I get back, or I'll see you when I see you. And then push him out the door. But we know his tongue was all down her throat, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to just stick his tongue down her throat to shut her up. And that's crazy to me that she doesn't see it. She thinks that's love or something, or that, he likes me. Hey, Mikey, he likes me. No, he doesn't. He thinks of you like Auntie Bernice thinks of Whitney. And that's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's what it is. He's literally like, oh, she's a fun girl. Stop being his fun girl. Stop being his fun girl, Brittany.
Right. And hey, Sleepy House, that was creepy. Y'all are funny. Brittany needs therapy, intense therapy. She needs intense therapy for herself. And then once she finally gets to a certain point of growth, then she needs to have therapy with her children. Meredith and Lisa. Oh, I should probably also say, y'all, the crew was unpacking the lady's stuff, and I don't know who, but somebody brought a cucumber
that was this thick.
It was like a stuffed, like, or it was like it was a stuffed cucumber, right?
No,
it was real.
You don't remember seeing the cucumber being cut in half, and why they stopped? Okay, so they found the cucumber a little bit later. I don't know why it was in the kitchen. I don't know who brought it there, but the cucumber was cut in half. And then at that time is when it was like, well, maybe they brought it.
I must have been writing. I remember hearing.
So they said maybe they used them to put over their eyes when they were getting them, massages. So so it was a real cucumber, because they couldn't cut it or would say that if it wasn't real.
What type of cucumber? That wasn't no English cucumber. I don't know what type of cucumber that was.
It definitely wasn't no Persian. It definitely wasn't no Persian cucumber.
The cucumbers here, I noticed when we went grocery shopping, were a little different, but maybe it just was that store. I don't know. So obviously we know there's different species of cucumber, whatever, but they found a cucumber, y'all. We don't know whose it is. Everybody won't deny it. I found it funny when Bronwyn was like, I don't even like cook, so like, where would I find it? That was funny to me. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. You do not cook. Not that I will eat your food anyway, because we know.
You don't cook cucumbers. Okay, but go ahead. Go off. You can, but you don't. You eat them raw.
I think you always put them in. Yeah, they're usually always raw. I don't think there's a recipe that ever called for me to cook the cucumber. You're right.
So what does that have to do with you not being able to cook? You can't cook?
Well, like cooking as in like prepping. Like she is not a woman that can be in the kitchen and produce anything, I guess, is what she was trying to make it seem.
I get it. I'm being funny. I'm being facetious. I'm being like, for real, girl, you can't even cut even what do they call it? Not Dyson. What is the word? Mince. Mm-hmm. You don't know how to mince, baby.
That reminded me. I don't know, y'all. Let me know in the comments. There's this. I remember there's like a viral clip of Kendall Jenner like cutting a cucumber, and she was having like, and she was like, oh, do you need help? Or like, I can help you, whatever. And she's like, no, I got it. And like the way she was cutting it, like people were clowning her. I gotta find that and send it to you. Y'all let me know if you've seen that. That just reminded me of that. Anyway, that reminded me of how Bronwyn would probably be in the kitchen. Speaking of Bronwyn, like I said, she's also unpacking, and Brittany's right there asking, so why didn't you come with us? Like, where were you at? Like, what's tea? And Bronwyn, we could see her energy is off based on one, just looking at her, and two, her tone. And she was just like, what did she say? Oh, I just had when something comes about that is upsetting or whatever, and upsets your husband and your child, then you have to, you have to be with them and comfort them and go through that process. So she was being vague at first, but then she really starts to open up. And what did Brittany say? Brittany admitted that she saw the news and stuff. And Bronwyn's like, she lets Brittany know that she thinks that somebody in the group planted stories about her. And Brittany's like, wait, you think that someone really did that? Like in the group? Like, whoa, hold on. And Bronwyn's like, yeah, you know, the story's changed a bunch of times. Now it's about her stealing a car, etc. And it's just very disgusting. It's very manipulative. She's not embarrassed about her past. She has a past like anybody else, and she's admitted to those mistakes. And this is not a matter that's on public record. So she's pretty sure that they've all talked about it, and not one person checked on me other than Mary Cosby. And she's standing by the eviction from years ago when she left BYU. And as far as everything else, people are taking that penal code and applying it to the most recent offense, because that's what it falls under, that penal code. And they're just taking it and amplifying it and turning it into all these absurd things, to the point that, you know, Todd told her not to come. He's a serious person. This is upsetting for him. He has serious work issues. He deals with serious people. He deals with serious books. He deals with serious notepads. There's nothing unserious about that man. So he didn't want her to come. Obviously, she came anyway. And like I said, she plans on addressing these matters with the people who she thinks is responsible. How did you feel about like her saying how she broke all that down?
Let me say hi to my BFF. She's in the building. Hey, Tam. Okay.
Hey.
She don't. My best friend's an RN, so an LVN. I'm sorry, and she doesn't get to get in. She doesn't get to get in my lives too often, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Let me read Auntie Bernie's comment, and I'll tell you how I feel.
Y'all can stop with the hope that Brittany will wake up. She's male-centered. As long as she has a peen in her mouth and between her legs, she's happy. Hashtag got have peen.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed, Auntie. Agreed. So I think it was just kind of weird that Bronwyn had to break it down to Brittany of all people. Like, that's the first person that she broke it down to, or tried to at least not even break it down, because she knows not to go too far. Oh, what?
I just want to remind you that, well, at this point in time, her and Brittany were, I guess, according to Brittany, probably cool enough, as cool as they've ever been, because we get a flashback, not to give the episode away. I'm sure you guys obviously are here and watched it, but we see that they were just shopping somewhere last week or something. I just want to throw that out there. Keep going.
True. And they had a deep, nice conversation. And we will get into it. We will get into that. But it's just funny, ironically, that she had to go talk to Brittany of all people. You know, Brittany's not the brightest, sharpest tool in the shed, right? So for her to be the one that she's speaking of, I couldn't stand how, after everything that Bronwyn did break down to her, all she could say was interesting. I said, I need you to. It's not interesting. Like, you don't have any other questions? Like, if it's so interesting, why don't you have more questions? Maybe they didn't show us. But we know Airhead don't have no questions. I just think that she's so ready to be with the other girls and pick a team or be on a team, because she thinks that the girls are going to like her if she sticks with them. So she's like, oh, yeah, Bronwyn, really? That's what's going on? She didn't say all that, but that's what she's given. And so I just wish she didn't have to talk to Bronwyn first. To Brittany first. I wish Bronwyn was able to talk to somebody. And I had put in my notes when Brittany says, oh, we're going to kill each other. And I said, you know what? Either two things can happen. They can either not get along and bump heads, or they can bond, with Bronwyn being able to talk to Brittany and Brittany being a listening ear and may be able to give her some insight. Wrong road. My bad for really trying to give Brittany the benefit of the doubt. But other than that, I think Bronwyn, for what she gave Brittany, I think that was a good start to, what's going on in Bronwyn's head. The boat ride over there, the fact that she might have not came. She had to get her head together. Bronwyn is a person that
is overthinks.
She's an overthinker and she's an overpleaser. So it's like, yeah. So
under cleaner of her house, an over explainer to her mother and her husband, an overarching helicopter parent to her grown daughter.
Anything else, sister? Did you miss anything? Because I don't want you to leave anything out.
That's all I have for right now. I'll let you know if something else pops up, though.
Got it. But that's basically, I just like the beginning of how this is about to unfold. So I'm good. I'm good with what Bronwyn started off with.
We're revving up here. We really are revving up here, y'all. And let us say hello to our brother, so Dev, in the chat.
Hey, Ron.
No, I agree. Unfortunately though, y'all, this is where Angie blows her first load of chunks. Sorry to be graphic, but like we said before, she's sick. It's coming up and out at this point. But everybody else is ready to dig into some lunch, so they were all going outside to eat. I think it was lobster curry. I want that. I want to try that. I need to find that in life, apparently, because lobster curry salad. I'm intrigued.
Take me with you. I mean, it's probably over. It's probably there on your island. It's probably over there with you.
I'm about to be on Yelp as soon as we wrap this. Before they complete their cheers, y'all, Whitney asks if everyone is okay. Crickets. Elephant is really in the corner at this point. And Bronwyn opens up about how some things happened last week that upset Todd, and people are trying to dig into her past and make things up. So he felt like it would be better off if she stayed at home, because she does that. She does that voice and that.
She sings. She's a singing, talking bobblehead. Yes, she is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Meredith claims that she didn't look into specifics, but she did think that there were some things that went from a couple years ago to 20 years back. So it just looks worse than it actually is. Kind of I feel like the tune she was speaking to, and Bronwyn admits to the eviction, like I said before, but she says there's no charges from 4 years ago. The charges didn't go through. There's no mugshot, and people are just attaching their own narrative pretty much. They still want to know why it matters so much to her then, if that's the case. And she says that it was very nasty. Very nasty things started to pop up once she started to hang out with this particular group of ladies. And this is, y'all, Lisa is the first person to speak up to say that, well, nobody here would do that to you. Like, nobody here would spread that type of thing and say those nasty things about you. Whitney, because she is the comedic relief, drops her fork. And she's like, well, it has to be dug up and spun up. And Lisa, she doesn't think it's weird though, because Bronwyn dug stuff up on her and, but didn't spend it. And what did she say? Because you targeted otherwise. Piss her off. Heather feels like Lisa is revealing herself in this moment. You can see Heather's gears starting to turn at this moment. And I want to say it was Mary that pretty much propositions Bronwyn to put a name on it, pretty much, because she hasn't said Lisa's name at this point. And Mary's like, well, you have to be talking about someone specific in this group. Bronwyn denies it. She doesn't say Lisa right when Mary asked. She denies that. And Mary flat out asked her if she thinks it's Lisa. And instead of saying it, she gives all this word salad only to say that after Amy's, things really intensified. So she's not accusing anybody, but there were a lot of fights at Amy's. And, when she had her one-on-one with Lisa, after that, she thought that everything had been cleared up between them. So she's not really sure where this is coming from. Lisa catches that stray and she's like, well, she starts getting loud like Lisa typically does and asking, well, who sent this this stuff, then, you know, I'm irritated, let's just go swimming. And she pretty much that's where the conversation ends, at least for now, because she's like, I'm hot, you know, I didn't do that to you. And she is refusing to be labeled as the scapegoat in this situation. But Lisa, or I should say Whitney, you know, Whitney's always going to have her foot on Lisa's neck. She's like, Lisa, bro, like, you're giving yourself away just based off of how you're reacting to this when we bring it up. Like, hello, clearly, you know, it was you and no one even accused you, bitch. You started talking first. But anywho, they all jump in the water. They're all having fun. They're having a grand old time. Lisa can't tell the difference between a swan and a duck. I don't understand why she can't, but it was definitely a swan. You know who's not having fun though, y'all? Angie. Angie is coming up and out. She's out in the water. She's throwing water. Like, she was hanging on to the man. Like, she was really freaking sick. And Lisa's all like, no more. What she say? No more swimming for you, or she was like, no more water for you, or whatever. When Lisa said that, I did laugh. I can't even lie. And she was like, you know, I don't want to be next to Angie when she's throwing up and stuff. Like, ugh, like, yeah, she's like, she makes her own self sick, I think is what Lisa also said. And
she's so full of it. She's so full of it that she made her own self sick, is what she said.
Oh, and Brittany, she tries to call out Heather for canoodling with Jason, and this is when Heather lets it slip for whatever reason that her and Jason have hooked up before, apparently. But then we could tell that clearly she was the alcohol was flowing through her blood at this time, because in the confessional she's all like, wait, I said that? Like, no, we got to take that out. Shout outs to Bravo production crew, because I'm glad they didn't take that out, because Heather, what the like, just telling everybody's business. Maybe he didn't want anybody to know that. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a little extra, but anyway. Brittany, she's still fiending for a man. I did think it was funny when Angie was like, and the worst part about all this is I'm in a bikini and I can't fucking suck in. Or I thought that was really funny. I like to see like fun moments like this right after like intense moments and messy moments, like the one where or the scene at the table and stuff like that. So I was laughing a lot. I know.
Yeah.
So the ladies all retreat back to their cabins. We got Bronwyn showing Whitney the unicorn, and Whitney was like, her face was like cracked. She was like, are you freaking serious? But anyway, speaking of Brittany, she's still grinning in one of the crew members' face at this point. She's telling them that, you know, she's a real estate developer. So she sells what she builds. She builds what she sells. She's in the business of building and selling and building. And she builds what she sells, and she sells what she builds. He's better than me. Meanwhile, Bronwyn is still mind blown over the lunch and how Lisa immediately jumped off the porch with it, and she wasn't even accusing her. Whitney, though, she's very convinced that it's Lisa. This has her name written all over it. It was essentially based off of historical events. Red flag number one being that Lisa was the first person to call Bronwyn Conwyn, and that is also what was on Twitter, on X the next day, apparently. I just want to throw it out there that Lisa didn't call her Conwyn. She called her Fraudwyn, I'm pretty sure. So you kind of lose a little bit of credibility there, Bronwyn, just saying. And Bronwyn was like, if she could do this to me, then that's the end. That's pretty much the last straw. But Lisa, she's unbothered. She's talking on the phone to Josh. Whitney is trying to open Heather's eyes to the fact that every single time information leaks about someone, it's when Lisa is coincidentally mad at the person as well. And Heather agrees that Lisa leaked it. And, she's like, Lisa is smarter and darker than any of them could ever even fathom. And she's a scorekeeper. And she's a researcher, and she is pissed at Bronwyn so much so that she is really ready to just let everyone know about it and spill Bronwyn's dirty little secrets, pretty much. Lisa is, I want to say, did they roll that clip back of Angie and Meredith, I want to say, sitting down and speaking. And speaking of Meredith, this is when Heather has Whitney go grab Meredith and bring her in so that they could tell her what they're thinking and to pick her brain about it. And in so many words, y'all, we have Heather enlisting Meredith, or so she thinks, enlisting Meredith to come on over and help them to break this news, to present this news to Lisa. They think that, or Heather, I should say, thinks that it'll be more digestible, I guess, if Meredith is also a part of that. Because she doesn't want to ruin, their friendship, but she knows how Lisa can get, pretty much. Meredith, though, she needs to see more. She's not completely convinced. She needs to see more receipts, because it's what if she didn't do it though? I see how you guys are breaking it down, but it's she's still not going to just go out there and label Lisa as the person behind this just at this moment. She needs to see more. She needs to hear more. I personally wasn't too surprised by Meredith's reaction. Were you surprised by Meredith's reaction? How do you feel about Heather and Whitney wanting to bring her in on this? How did you feel about all of that? Everything, all that?
There's a lot. That was a lot going on. So many things. I just want to bring it back before I even get back to. I'm gonna get back to the girls going in the room, but when they showed the when you said that it was, the credibility was a little bit shot because that she called her Fraudwyn instead of Conwyn, but the tweets. So the thing with that is there's two different pages, right? Of these tweets, right? But when I read the tweets, the cadence sounds like Lisa talking. When you read the tweet out, it sounds like Lisa talking. Not so much that, okay, that's her, boom, 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 boom. But in the way that Lisa clowns, it sounds like her. It literally, it's just I was like, if I close my eyes, I can hear her talking the way this person is talking. But there was two different pages.
Yeah.
Right? And then, when we talk about what's happening, watch what happens live, she brought that up herself as well. So I just kind of, I was a little confused on that part, because I'm like, somebody got to be leaking something. And, Lisa is emotional, and how angry she's getting is crazy, but I still don't believe her. Now getting back to Heather getting Meredith in there with her so that she could because she felt like she would have a little bit more, or maybe she felt like Lisa would be more welcoming if Meredith had said it. We all know Lisa don't want to be accused of anything. Why would she think that bringing Meredith was going to do anything? Meredith always has her back. So that's weird that you even needed her. I did find it funny that Whitney was trying to, it was almost like Whitney was trying to make Meredith say something, because Meredith is like, yeah, it'd be kind of messed up if that's what she's doing. And if it's what she's doing, the things that you guys have been saying. I was like, okay, y'all over here trying to skip along and make it one person when majority of the group feels like it's Lisa. And so since that is a majority of people that thinks that means people are talking about it, which means that it needs to be brought to the forefront. Because if not, it's going to come out when it shouldn't come out. And if everybody's thinking the same way and more stories are going to keep coming out, we need to nip it in the bud. We need to figure it out. So I knew Meredith was gonna be ice cold. What Auntie Bernice called her, the ice princess? I knew she was gonna do that. She didn't hold Lisa's feet to the fire. I don't know why she is taking Lisa for her word when clearly she called you the slut of New York. You heard it with your own ears, and she did apologize, but you heard it. So it's not unlikely that she's probably said something. And you've been around her when she says shit about other people. So Meredith, why are you literally having blinders on while you sitting there talking to the girls? That's another thing. I said, we can't see your eyes. What are you, faded? What are you, on your pills and your alcohol? Oh, you already sound slurry. So I was just like, you're not helping the case for me. I get it. You want your friend you don't want to believe this of your friend. I hope it ain't Lisa too. But does it look like Lisa? It does. And when you combine the timelines of everything that's happening with everyone, it all points back to Lisa. Meredith, why is that so hard for you to believe? Oh yeah, because Barb said you guys have a pact.
No, I get what you're saying. For me though, it's always going to come down to, or before we really get into that bigger overarching part of the conversation, it's this for me, that I always have to remember that at the same time, anytime anybody has came onto these any franchise of the Real Housewives, or just reality TV in general for that matter, their stuff, like the skeletons, they always come out. Like they always come out even without anybody on the cast having to lift a finger. Like they always come out. So I just personally would love if everybody keeps that in mind. I feel like that shouldn't go without being taken into account. No one is darker than Heather set up. Meredith isn't jumping on a bandwagon. Auntie Bernie said the Winter Witch Meredith and Wicked Witch Lisa will always have an allegiance. Tucker Carlson and Sean Angie have figured that out. It looks like Lisa because they say so. This is giving so. Yeah, that's, again, without getting into that part of the conversation, I think me and Lexi Lene are seeing each other in these comments right now. But going back to the episode, y'all, back in the other cabin, we got Angie. This is pretty much them for the rest of the day. So this is, later on in the episode, but this was literally them, y'all, for the rest of the episode. Poor Angie. Mary was there to comfort her though. So it's we could probably say that it's good that they made up last week or whatever. And it was interesting to see now the tables turn to where I feel like we usually see Angie caring for Meredith, or caring for Mary and stuff like that. Now we see Mary on the support system side and Angie being the one that needs, support or comfort or whatever. I thought that was an interesting switch up. And Mary, she even has one of the crew members go get Captain Jason because, again, Angie's just down for the count at this point. And I thought it was a fun fact that Mary doesn't eat shrimp. I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. She does eat wahoo, though, which is good because that's the catch of the day. That's what's on the menu. So she'll be having her dinner in the room. And again, she'll be sticking by Angie's side. Lisa and Meredith, they make sure they take a selfie before they go to dinner. And this is where the ladies find out that instead of 8 of them dining together, it'll only be 6 because, like I just said, Mary will stay back in the room with Angie. And so Lisa's like, oh my gosh, you can't even get out of bed. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. And so they all cheers to Angie getting her sea legs. And back in with Angie and Mary, we hear Mary flush the toilet and say that she feels brand new and now she could dig into that wahoo, y'all. But where's the rest of it? I guess it was a small portion. I guess she was expecting more. I thought that was hilarious, especially coming off of talking about Mary and her gas, like in last week's episode or whatever. we're getting so much details into Mary Cosby's life, and I am here for it. I know my sister's probably here for it too, because Mary is an interesting character, and it's interesting every time we find out something, even if it's like something so minute as, oh, she doesn't eat shrimp. It's like, oh, okay, interesting to know. She's just good TV, y'all. But you know who's not missing Mary in her commentary? Brittany. She's not missing her commentary. And Heather's like, oh, girl, well, before you shit talk somebody, you need to make sure they're here. We only shit talk people to their faces, pretty much. Complete BS. And Brittany seems to think that she's the only one that says things to people's faces, though. So I don't know who you're talking to, Heather. And Bronwyn then decides to check Brittany in this moment, because she's like, oh, you're talking about you're the only truth teller in the group? That's mighty funny when there's plenty that you haven't said to people's faces at this table, because there's then and shout out to production for showing us, like we said before, that unseen clip from the week prior where Bronwyn and Brittany were supposedly out shopping or whatever, and Brittany was opening up to her about how, Lisa tries to like big sister her too much, and Brittany is an independent woman, okay? She can stand on her own 2 feet. She don't need Lisa or anybody else sticking up for her or trying to give her pointers or trying to mentor her. She's got it, okay? And Meredith always has seizures every time she sees Brittany, and it only happens when she sees Brittany. Like she's always having some type of seizure. So that those are the types of things that Brittany was letting Bronwyn know when they had their one-on-one. And like I said, in this moment, Bronwyn decides to regurgitate everything that Brittany has told her in confidence. And then we have Lisa and Meredith, or we have Meredith going off now, because using the word seizure, in her opinion, is completely just not cool, because even she knows that is a serious thing. She hasn't had one. She knows it's a serious thing, and she knows it's a serious thing because like even one of her children has had one. So that's not cool. That's really despicable. She can't believe she had this lady in her house. Like, she's grossed out by Brittany yet again. Lisa was actually quiet. We didn't really hear anything from Lisa in this moment. And Brittany's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. And then this is when Meredith decides to jump up and pour water in Brittany's lap again. And Bronwyn, as you guys can see, is right in the middle of these two. But Brittany, she's like, I'm about to take that line down. So she picks up some water and like slings it back onto over towards Meredith. And instead, I feel like it really just got Bronwyn all wet up. And I'll pause right here to kind of go over this, because I feel like this was a lot to talk about, because I think 2 things happened here that I know I need to whack a couple people about, but I'll save that. You go first. What did you feel like in this moment?
When you're talking about at the table?
Mm-hmm. Up to this point, yeah.
I feel like it gets chaotic, and I feel like nobody can stay on one person, on the one thing that we're supposed to be talking about. I think it was messed up that Bronwyn brought all that up about Brittany. I feel like if you were going to do that, make her say it. You just running off at the mouth and gaslighting the 2 ladies is weird, because not only was it weird, you were actually talking over her. You're talking over her, trying to get your point across. You don't really care for Lisa right now, so why are you even trying to give her ammunition? Are you trying to be like, well, I'm trying to be your friend? Like, it's so confusing. Like, I can't, y'all, I'm trying to stay mad at people, and I can't, because you will forgive that person, or you'll jump back on the boat with them, and it's like, wait, wasn't she not even talking to you? So it was so much confusion, and I don't think that Bronwyn needed to. It was unnecessary for her to bring it up, and if she was going to do that, let it come from Brittany. She should have told Brittany, are you going to say it or do you want me to say it? And then Brittany would have been like, say what, or whatever the case may be. But let it come from Brittany. And the way she ran that off, and y'all already know Brittany is the underdog. And I don't, I pull for the underdog. Not saying I like Brittany like that, but Brittany's the underdog. She's going to get the end of the stick all the time, like literally. So for me, it's just like, girl, you don't have to go that hard on Brittany. Y'all don't go that hard on other people.
That's what I have to. That's what it is for me, because it's like Brittany has enough of her own stuff going on to where y'all don't even need, like, she makes herself an easy target just based off of that. And I completely understand you guys not respecting her because of that. But we can't sit here, y'all. We can't continue to move the line just because it is in support of who we, is our fave. And I feel like that's kind of what happens with Brittany on this show, because it's like what Bronwyn did. If that had been any two other people, y'all would be like, Bronwyn, you were dead ass wrong, because clearly it's like, if you're not gonna like the girl, then don't like the girl. But clearly, for whatever reason, y'all whether it had been because production told you guys to film together or whatever it was, y'all were filming together, y'all were shopping together, whatever it was, and clearly the conversation had left off of being just a vague conversation and jumped over to being a deeper conversation. So clearly you're able to, or if that's where you guys are at with it, it's not because you don't want to be in that place with her. Because if that was the case, you just wouldn't talk to her. Y'all, it would have been silent. It would have been awkward. I think we've seen plenty of one-on-one meetups where like it just is a vague meetup and they're not getting deep, and it's just like, okay, clearly these people are just not each other's cup of tea. If that's the case, if you really didn't like this lady, then it would have just been that. You wouldn't have just gone and uttered all these things, especially like you said, when on the other hand, you're thinking that Lisa is out stabbing you in the back or whatever. So it's like, I understand why now people are looking at you, Bronwyn, very weird and thinking like, okay, in this moment where you just trying to like pander to Lisa, like the brownie point, like what the fuck was that exactly? And Meredith, again, we can't sit here and act like it's cool for Meredith to throw water on Brittany because she's an ain't shit fucking mother, but we can't sit here and act like that's cool because let that have been Mia on Potomac that fucking threw water on Wendy, then you guys weren't cool with that. So we can't sit here, or Gertie and Julia, that's actually been the latest the latest thing that happened along those lines was down in Miami. So we can't sit here and act like it's cool, like no one should be doing it. If it's not cool for one person to do it over here on this franchise or over here, then it's not cool to do it over here. And clearly in this moment, Meredith is, especially Meredith, like you wouldn't do that to anybody else. You're just doing that again because Brittany's an easy target. And let that have been the other way around, you would have been ready to Meredith, the lawyer, you'd been ready to sue somebody for doing that. So I didn't really care too much for that, for either of those things. And Bronwyn, she has a history of doing this to Brittany, because if we think back to that fucking let me not say fucking when I say this word. We think back to Bronwyn's Meredith's was bat mitzvah, right? It was bat mitzvah, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Last year, remember when Bronwyn threw Brittany under the bus last year? She keeps doing it, I feel like, at times that are very convenient for her, and it's looking like you're just trying to use it to deflect. She has a habit of doing this, y'all. You can't say she hasn't done this time and time again. And it really is, it reads, because you can tell her energy is different. You can tell she's like irritated or pissed off, or when she's having a bad day, it's like, now I want to throw somebody else under the bus. Like that's really just random and weird to me, especially when you guys were just in the room and you were just telling her all these different things. So pick one.
Misery loves company. 1, 2, I think she was thrown off that Brittany didn't give her anything to, that she didn't say, oh, okay, I understand, or okay, that kind of makes sense to me. Or maybe you should talk to the girls, or maybe, anything to make her say, you know what, I never thought of it from that angle. Or nobody said that, because we're so busy to say that you're guilty on whatever it is, that I didn't look at it from that perspective. So I don't know if that's what is prompting Bronwyn to treat Brittany like that, but wrong. I Even though this was funny,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, not that, not that. Oh, what you're just saying, yeah, to that. But
Mhm.
what I thought was funny in the moment, but it's not funny, is when Heather says that Meredith didn't have her hearing aid up. Nobody said Jared, right? I was like, do you know
Wait,
how?
I missed that. Wait, what?
And so she's in the confessional and she says, Meredith, nobody said Jared. This is supposed to pour water on Brittany. It was that because she just had poured water on her for being mad at her. But
Mhm.
my thing is, instead of saying that, nobody is being serious about the fact that this lady is getting water poured on her. I don't care if it's water. It's not cool if it's water, any kind of liquid. That is still assault. Somebody throw water on me and I don't want the water on me. I can say that you assaulted me, because what's going to happen? It's going to make me react. My reaction is going to make me want to hit you. So
That's
now
all.
we're going to fight. And so what? Don't make sense.
I love that you said that, because there was a couple different things that happened on this episode that made me think like, if this had been anybody else, and they would have more than likely reacted differently, and we would have been having a whole different conversation. Like, there's certain things that people do to certain people because they know that that person's not going to retaliate, or they think that they can obviously get one over on the person, and that's y'all picking the right ones. Y'all keep acting like that, you gonna meet your match one day. Yes, they do. They treat. Hey, Kim Kelly, exactly. Water joke too far. Yeah, and it was funny though, because people online kept calling Meredith a water bender, because like the water like didn't get on her or whatever. It's funny.
I can't. You know what? I just think I'm just not that mean. I can get low down and dirty, but that person has to do something to me.
But that's the thing. I'm like, y'all are taking her too seriously. Like, because I would just think that she, again, is just I wouldn't even pay attention to her. Like, she wouldn't even be able to get me that beside myself, because I would take her, like, you're a joke to me. You don't take, care of your kids. Like, there's nothing that she could do to get me to come out of my character, because I don't even take you serious as a real person. Like, who is he? Anyway. But you know what else was funny, y'all? Mary and Angie, who were inside having the best relaxing dinner / seasickation ever. Mary was crunching away. Angie was meanwhile fighting for her life, but they're having a much more calm evening than what's transpiring up on the deck. So back at the dinner table, Meredith is still on Brittany's neck. She's chronologically listing all of Brittany's infractions. And then we have Heather over there saying, well, there's things that they need to own at the table. This isn't a pile-on. They're all grown, capable women. So, they're going to talk. And who else needs to own some things? And it's actually where Whitney then picks up the baton. Is like, well, Heather, I think you have some things we need to start owning up to, or whatever. And Meredith needs to own up to some things as well. More specifically, the conversation that they just had earlier in their cabin. And Meredith is like, she throws that volley right back Whitney's way. And she's like, oh yeah, well, you guys can talk about it, or yeah, you should bring that up. And I thought that was good. That was good. And Whitney, she doesn't back down though. She's still trying to rope Meredith in her confessional. We have Heather talking about, well, I thought it would be different. I thought we would get more support from Meredith so that this conversation would go differently, but obviously that's not the case. So Heather picks up the baton, y'all, and she proceeds to say to Lisa that they have to be on, or she has to be honest and say that she thinks that Lisa is the source of all the dirt. And when I say, y'all, do I have the picture? Lisa was like, well, this isn't the picture, but Lisa was over there and her jaw dropped just the same way pretty much because she was completely caught off guard to the point she's like, you know, her neck turned so fast to say like, why are you guys questioning me? Apparently whenever you're upset, something gets leaked. And Lisa's like, you know, I hope you have my back to Meredith. And this is where things just continue to escalate and escalate and escalate, y'all. We have Lisa denying it. She's denying being the source of anything. And she's like, you know, people tell her stuff and, you know, now she's to blame. And Heather is literally calling Lisa the grand poobah. For whatever reason, Whitney gets up and starts trying to come towards Lisa. Lisa's like, like, get away from me. Do not come over here. Heather grabs Lisa's face at one point. And again, Mary and Angie are downstairs, like, they don't know what is happening, but they hear them going off. It's like, what is getting started over there? Oh my goodness. Is that Heather? Oh. And Lisa's like, you know, you're lucky I even fucking talked to any of you. And Heather's standing on 10 toes. She's like, she's been a very good fucking friend to Lisa. She's telling the other ladies not to be afraid of Lisa because she's just throwing dirt right back at them. She's like, you know, fuck you, Lisa Barlow. Just fucking own it, you defensive fucking bitch. So she's, you know, literally she's getting where I think I have a picture of Heather too. Yes, I do. Yeah, like going off. Mind you, the crew members, they don't even know what to do at this point. They're like around the ladies trying to like bring their dinner out. I want to say Captain Jason, he was even going to have dinner with them that night, but he was like, oh no, absolutely not. Felt so bad for them. Heather is just telling Lisa to own it. They're so sure this is her. Lisa's still trying to find out why she's responsible for what goes on the internet. And again, we got, like I said, Mary and Angie downstairs hearing all of this. And Lisa's like, you know, are you effing kidding me? And Heather's like, well, you know, I do think that you did it or whatever. And Lisa's like, well, you know, I can't be your friend then, like, period. And she gets up and she's trying to walk away. Heather's like, you know, come back. Lisa's trying to walk away and talk to John. It's complete chaos. And Lisa's like, you know, I love how everything gets spun. And Heather even calls her a fucking spin. She's like, you're fucking spinning it, you moron. Okay. And she tells her to get off the fucking yacht then if she can't hear what Heather has to say. And on that note, Lisa got the fuck up. Like I said, she's over there. She's talking to John. We got like Britani trying to go after her. We got Heather trying to follow her. Heather was grabbing Lisa by her waist and telling her to sit back down, even though she told her that she can get the fuck on if she's not trying to hear what Heather has to say. And we have Whitney still popping her shit. And Lisa's on the side now crying. She's gotten John on the phone. And Heather's refusing to leave Whitney alone or leave Lisa alone at this point. Lisa's telling John everything that went down. Heather's denying it just as fast as Lisa's telling him. And one of the crew members, like I said, Captain Jason, he was like, I was going to have dinner with him, but absolutely not. And so we have Lisa finally, her final resting point for the rest of the episode, y'all, was down here on this dock, where she was crying her eyes out to John. We have Heather. Everybody disperses by this point. Whitney was up trying to get a tour of. She wanted to tour the kitchen and everything else. We got Britani still flirting everybody else's faces. Once Lisa told her to get the fuck on, she was flirting in people's faces, trying to get a tour from Captain Jason, who was like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a tour, but not tonight. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. and yeah, you're not worth me losing out on any more sleep, pretty much is what I took from it. And again, Angie and Mary are still in their room. So Heather winds up actually going in to their room and crying to them about what all just transpired. And we have Angie saying that, you know, she loves Heather. She was there to support her. That was so courageous of her. Mary's like, yeah, I mean, you know, Mary's like it was definitely Lisa. And so Heather then leaves the room, and then she goes to find Lisa again, who is still down there at the dock. Obviously, she runs into Brittany, and Brittany's like, yeah, she's over here, whatever. So then she, goes over there, whatever. And we never see her actually make contact with Lisa. We're gonna pick up there next week, I'm assuming, maybe. And yeah, y'all, it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go and rest my vocal cords for a second. Yeah.
All right. Child, it was a lot. The Meredith whole how she didn't speak up, or how Lisa was like, you had better defend me, because if you didn't, you better say I'm sorry now. I was like, who's she talking to? Because first of all, don't talk to me like that. But of course, these two don't go off on each other about shit like that, which they should, because you're not gonna tell me about it. You're not about to tell me I better apologize to you right now. You don't even know. You're so already flying off the handle. You don't even know what was said, but you want an apology from me? Slow your roll, Missy. That was one thing. Hold on. Okay, Heather. Heather was lit. Let's be clear. Heather was too lit to quit. Because, like, I don't think she would have said as many things as she would have said, because she usually tries to think before she speaks, and because she had been drinking, she wasn't thinking before she spoke. So it just like kind of came out, which, everybody gets a little liquid courage, and some things just need to be said. Sometimes it just comes out that way. I'm not mad at that part of it per se, because I feel like Heather's been, I told y'all earlier, she's a bootlicker. And if you go back to 1 and 2 of the season, I was like, Heather, what is going on? I my brain was not messing with her. So the fact that I feel like she needed to get that off her chest and let Lisa know. Lisa already said that Heather is a person that is the one to hold her feet to the fire, will tell her the truth, whether she like it or not. So, I was kind of thrown off when Lisa, not thrown off, because Lisa, we all know that Lisa loves a good walk off. She likes to making a big emotional thing about what's going on. So I already knew that was going to happen, but I don't like when Lisa like just throws everything out like nothing ever happened, like it's a clean slate, or everybody's lying on her. It's like, Lisa, I'm gonna need you to breathe in and breathe out, because we can't understand Lisa, because she gets so frantic that maybe what she's saying is true. Maybe she didn't do it. But because you start off with, I ain't did nothing to none of you bitches. But yes, you have. Yes, you have. And the moment you open your mouth and say, I did some things, but not this far, we might look at it like, okay, so maybe we can believe you this time. But the moment you say I ain't did nothing to them, girl, my ears tuned out. I can't hear you no more. You're like one of my kids that be telling me something that I know damn well that you did, but you're gonna sit in my face and tell me you didn't. It's just we have too much proof. He said didn't do it. For me, Meredith. Lisa said, yeah, I didn't do it. She was like, well, that's all I needed to know. I said, girl, is that all it fucking took? Are you kidding me? I was like, that's why I think Heather went ballistic and went to the left. She was just like, you really gonna you try to throw us all, y'all all try to throw each other under the bus. Nobody wants to get under the bus and lay down, and it just went left. And I was just like, yikes. But still, Lisa calling the girls MF and B's, I say she really feel that way about y'all. And like I said, Heather was a little too lit. I think Heather wouldn't have went in so hard if she wasn't as lit as she was. liquid courage, as everybody calls it, all that good stuff. I kind of feel bad that she don't, because she slipping at the mouth. She don't remember stuff that she said. So that always can come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
You can say something if you want to. I'm just going through my notes on it because there was things that I saw. I was like, oh yeah, that.
No, I agree that like two things can be true at the same time, y'all. I do think that Lisa does herself a disservice with how she reacts to things and how she handles things and whatnot. Do I believe that Lisa's hands are 100% clean in every situation? Absolutely not. But this situation, but when it pertains to this situation, and because the blogger has came forward and said that it wasn't Lisa behind it, Bronwyn said that it wasn't Lisa behind it after the fact and stuff like that. Like, because of those facts, it's like, okay, if she wasn't behind it, Heather, yeah, you're unhinged, beyond unhinged in this moment. There's so many things, and even the way that that Heather's gone at people in the past and stuff like that, like the Monicas and stuff like that. Like, Heather doesn't handle situations in the way that I think that she should handle them all the time at all, and this one included. It just made her look absolutely insane, because on one hand it's like you wanted to live up underneath Lisa for all of the rest of your days was how you're coming off, only to then not in this moment. And even in this moment, it was like you were trying to gaslight her in this moment. And it's just like, again, I feel like Lisa has enough of her own negative attributes about herself that I don't even think Heather needed to do all of this in order for a person to still like not see it for Lisa. I don't think, just like what I said about Britani, it's like Britani has enough stuff going on her own that nobody needs to even add anything more to that situation for people to really see it for what it is. I think the same can be said about Heather in this moment. And it's just like also going off of like historical things and stuff like that. It's like, you're just like last year, when Lisa was being blamed for like the stuff with Whitney and whatnot. It's like that was also disproved. And I want to say when all that was transpiring, I want to say it was revealed that Heather had conversations with one of the bloggers or something like that too. Not that anything was said in that salacious in that conversation from what I can remember, but I want to say that something that came out was that, like, yeah, at one point Heather was in communication with a page or something like that, or whatever. So it's just like, you're also not far removed from being capable but to do stuff like this or whatever. Still confused. Like I said, I already spoke on Bronwyn, so I don't really need to even rehash that. But yeah, this just
I got another point.
I
have another point to make too when you're done.
Yeah.
I feel like when Brittany went out to go talk to Lisa when she was, on the ocean by herself, and she was like, "Oh, I don't want nobody to love. I don't want nobody to touch me." I really feel like she wanted Meredith to come to her because she wanted Meredith to come to. It would have made more sense in her. You're like, okay, Meredith came to see me about me. Meredith had to come to my defense. Maybe I was overreacting, and that didn't happen. I think that's why it even heightened it more. That Brittany, of course, it's the shitty end of the stick again. Is like, don't touch me. She's like, I just want to give you a hug and tell you I love you. She's like, no, don't touch me. She's literally being empathetic to you, and you are just gonna just be like, no. And so that was kind of weird. I didn't like that. I don't like when people are trying to be nice to somebody and they be like, I don't want it. Now, Brittany, she does, timing is off most of the time. Like when she tried to hug Whitney way too soon. I get that. You know what I mean? But in this moment, I don't think that it was that big of a deal if she would have just said, you know what, thank you for checking on me, but I really want to be alone. I just want to talk to my husband. It didn't have to be, all that it was for me. And as far as, it was one other thing that I wanted to say. Yeah, as far as the captain not being interested in Brittany, I don't think he's interested in her like that. And I also think that he has some, not even allegiance, but if him and Heather had some talking, some type of flirting, some type of anything that was more than a friendship, and they know that they don't live close by each other, and that's all it can really be. Yeah, I just kind of feel like Heather should have said something, not in that moment, not the way she brought it up, but she should have been said something. I don't know why you being so secretive. I think you should have said something. That way Brittany wouldn't look like a fool. And then not only that, because she's not really looking like a fool, I think that Captain Jason is trying to be respectful of his and Heather's friendship. And so it's Brittany's getting in the Brittany's kind of like, getting pushed down to the bottom. It's like we didn't have to do it that way. We could have just all been like, she could have just been like, oh yeah, we was flirting. We didn't really take it nowhere, or we were flirting, and I'm trying to see where it goes on this trip. Be real with her, Heather. You could have opened your mouth and said that. So another thing I want to say about that. And I cannot wait for Mary to read Meredith down next week.
That's gonna be interesting.
I just want to hear why, and I just want to hear why and what. And it's not because I don't like Meredith like that. I just want to see why. What sparks it?
No, I agree. That's something I didn't see coming, but I'm eager to see. It's just, yeah, Heather really just blew me this episode. Bronwyn too, towards the tail end, like I said before, because Heather, you're gonna sit here and like accuse someone of spreading, life-altering rumors, without any proof, and then gaslight them into thinking like it's a good, like what are we? Well, I don't know what her end goal is here, other than to, I think, just make a moment by any means necessary at this point, because just the flip flopping of it all. And I get it, y'all. To a degree, does every other housewife do a flip flop here and there? Yes, they do. But this was wild to watch. And if we do pick up with the same parts, or like not even just the same part, but like what is the rest? Because this is only night one, right? So we have 2 more days. Like, what is this rest of the season going to look like? / what is the rest of this trip about to look like? Because you could not do me like that and think that it's just about to be the final say all and be all. / I feel like with Lisa, yes, she doesn't react well, and she makes herself look a little weird with these types of reactions and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel like if she was behind it, she wouldn't react this way. Her defense wouldn't be to run off crying and whatever. She'd be staying on the table, like with every vein in her neck popping out, going off. If she was behind it, I feel like there would be more one-liners. There would be more, like, she would try to be in the camera more, making this more of a moment, I feel like, and having way more to say, to scream, I should say, rather than just, sulking off with her tail between her legs, whatever. I feel like she would be way more theatrical in her response if she was behind it, because she would be expecting this. She would be expecting them to bring it up. She would be the way she would react would be completely streamlined. And in this moment, I think she genuinely, didn't see this coming and was like, wow, okay, so this is what we're doing. Yeah.
I agree. My mind changed once I saw her watch What Happens Live, because she teared up when Andy asked about it, and he was like, "Wait, are you tearing up?" And so for me, I was like, "Ooh, this is not something you would tear up unless it really hurt your feelings that you were being accused of something that you shouldn't have been accused of." But
she would be clapping back. She would be clapping back if she was behind it, y'all.
Yeah, she would definitely be clapping back really hard, and it just would be like, yeah, I was the one. Like, literally, I could see it happening. I mean, because we've seen her argue with Angie over some stuff, and when she does, it's a certain thing that she does. Like, I'm not backing down. Lisa don't back down when she thinks she's right. And that's why the emotion, her crying more, is throwing me off, because instead of her arguing, she's crying. So I was like, ooh,
Right.
I don't know. But like I said, I'm with you. I don't think she's squeaky clean.
Oh, absolutely no, absolutely not. But I just don't think. Obviously, I've already said she's not behind this. We missed a hello. If Micah's still in here, hey. Um, yeah, that's I wasn't even mad that this episode was longer than normal because I was so locked in versus how I was on Sunday for Potomac, that when that ran overtime, I was like, okay, I'm ready for it to be over. Just two different shows, y'all. Lexi Lene had also said Lisa is unhinged, but they also set her up. Yes, I do agree.
See that?
It's the ultimate Igor who always wants the spotlight of Dr. Frankenstein first with Jen Shaw when she couldn't get close to Lisa. Yeah, it's so weird. People who have no empathy don't know how to receive it. Absolutely true. A cutie who y'all play next. We play the Vikings Sunday.
We have the Jaguars. We're just coming off a bye week.
What city
I
is
know.
that?
Jaguars is Jacksonville.
Oh.
Or is it not Jacksonville? Jackson. It's it's Florida.
Oh, okay.
Or is it Jacksonville? Jacksonville is in Florida.
Florida.
Okay, so Jacksonville, Florida. Jaguars. Yeah. Like, wait a minute. Child, I be thinking, even with my the Bill Collective, I be trying to keep them all where they supposed to be at. So one in Alabama, the Mississippi's, the everybody everywhere.
All these places.
I don't never get over Heather because she's just so. I just think because now that she's lost her weight and she's on a glow up and she's an empty nester, she's trying to get her footing, and I don't know if this is the right footing for her just yet. I'm not giving her any grace. I'm just saying, yikes, for somebody to be licking Lisa's boots in the beginning, for you to flip so hard is like, without what it Meredith said, I put in my notes, but without any proof, right? But Meredith said it best. She said it best, that with the accusations. What did she say? I heard in my notes, but she said, just be accusative. If it doesn't mean that accusations don't mean that you can accuse people, basically. And I was like, it's true. The accusation doesn't mean that just because it's thrown out there, like, oh, now you can say, oh yeah, I accuse you of doing it, and that's what Heather did. So
I'll get you in jail real fast, or paying fines real fast at least. Y'all better be careful accusing people of stuff. But yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, this was a good episode.
It was. One other thing, it looks like Lisa's not going to leave the trip, and I'm happy about that. I'm just going because when we seen the rest of the trip, she's going to be there. So I was like, okay, good. Because if John leaves to come get her, I'm going to be mad at John. John promised me you'll be there tomorrow. Promise me.
Yeah. I mean, based off of what we know now about their marriage, he'd probably be happy to get a couple, nights alone, days alone. Just saying. Well, we shall see, y'all. We appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate y'all holding it down in the chat as always. So grateful for everybody. Collectively, there's 41 people watching. So if we can translate that to 41 plus likes, that would be nice on both of our platforms. If you are catching this on X, make sure you come on down here to YouTube and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the comments, share us. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss any of our uploads, because we both have been definitely producing a lot of content lately. So you don't want to miss any of our posts, if I do say so myself. And yeah, make sure you follow us on all of our socials that have been scrolling along the bottom of the screen. And yep, until next time, y'all. That's all I got. Yeah, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
That was cute.